Of a group funeral without the grief, and a pre-K birthday party without the diapers yet. This is the brainchild of my hero, Clayton Patterson. Let's hear it, Mom! I love him so much for doing this for us. You know, in Florence in the Renaissance, did Michelangelo do this for Leonardo da Vinci? No. And in Paris, did Hemingway do this for Gertrude Stein? No. But our Clayton is doing it for us, to make us feel better about our shitty, dead-end lives.
All right. Well, thank you very much to Phoebe. This is great. Very wonderful to see everybody here. It's kind of like an anti-gentrification move. What we have here is really kind of a really great cross-section of the downtown as it really was. We're building a community of memories of people of, this is our past. So this is the Lower East Side. So downtown. So we're very happy to have this. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming. And it's really great because, you know, the Grammys are for music, the Obies are for theater. This is for really a whole cultural. The whole culture. It's really developing a community. And it's a large community. And it embraces everybody. So it's everybody who made it happen. They have the vendor people, the venue people, like Trigger with his Continental, playing music for people, and Stevie's. And of course, we got Crystal here. So we have a very good cross-section. And we have people like Andrew Berman this year, who's historic preservation. And I'll turn it over to Phoebe. All right, thank you very much.
We're going to start with our Lifetime Achievement Awards. And we're going to begin with a woman who is very, very important in my life. I call her my rabbi, my mentor. Everybody needs a mentor, and I got a great one. This Lifetime Achievement goes to Crystal Fields. At the Theater for the New City Love and Courage benefit, I compared Crystal to Moses, leading us through the desert of the Philistines to the land of milk and honey and agitprop theater. We say a lot about real estate. We complain a lot about real estate. But there's another kind of real estate, and Crystal taught us what it is. It's the place where you're sitting right now. It's transcendental real estate where art can be made. This woman works night and day, year after year, decade after decade, to keep the lights on and to keep the theater and the art flowing. And let's hear it for Crystal Fields, Lifetime Achievement! Let's hear it for my rabbi. Totally awesome.
Well, I really don't have much to say. I do think things have gotten better. We don't have slavery anymore in this country, at least not the kind we had. Young queer men are not getting their heads bashed in night after night. When we were over on West Street, I saw a little bit of that. That's an improvement. We're sitting in very challenging times, but we have to remember that whatever we are, we're a grain of sand in history's march forward. And if things get worse, they will eventually get better. And we are going to be the cause of that. So, with that said, I say do not give up in these challenging times. There's plenty to do, and we're all going to keep on doing it.
All right, next we'd like to bring up Jan Herman. Jan Herman goes all the way back to the 60s, working at City Lights with Ferlinghetti. Come on up, Jan Herman. You put a box, a book with a number of the boxes. So this is Jan. He's been involved in the avant-garde literary world for much of his life.
Wow. Actually, this took me by complete surprise, and I feel very honored. It's my daughter's birthday today, and so I told her, this is what happens when you get old. And she said, no, you're only old when it's posthumous. So, thanks very much for this. Appreciate it. If not for Clayton, I wouldn't be here.
And now, is Ruby Lynn Rayner here? My favorite. Hi, sweetheart. She's going to present a very, very special award. It's our Candy Darling Award.
Yes, oh, this is the Candy Award? I have to Cynthia Carr, yes. Well, unfortunately, I don't read that much. So I'm sorry, Cynthia. I don't really, but I'm looking forward to reading it. Yes, I know. I'm looking forward to reading her work. But I did know Candy. I'm probably the only person alive that did know Candy. Oh, yes, I forgot. I'm sorry. There's a couple here. And I just want to tell a little Candy Darling story. Candy loved Kim Novak. And she always wanted to act out Gene Eagles. The Gene Eagles story, if anybody saw that, it's a very old film. And the famous line was, I'm Gene Eagles. I don't need equity. Oh well. So I want to present this award. It's a great book to you, Cynthia Carr. To her.
And I hope that I will end up deserving this award. I haven't finished the book yet. But if there's anyone here besides Ruby Lynn Rayner and Melba LaRose who knew Candy, please let's talk afterwards. Okay?
Now we have a very, very special award. It is the Jack Smith Film Award, which is bestowed as the Acker, in partnership with the Foundation for New American Art, which is my nonprofit. We bring art and music to low-income children of our community. We have these programs that run right here at Theater for the New City. And this award is being given for the first time, the Jack Smith Film Award, to Ivan Gaglietti, who knew Jack very well and has made the most beautiful films.
Thank you.
I need an award for you.
All
So
right.
I'll put it on you while you talk a little.
Okay. I met Jack in Rome in 1975. He's the reason why I'm in New York. He told me, you could be my assistant if you come to New York. So, and he gave me this jacket when in 1979. So I don't know if I can wear it now, but this is the award.
I made it.
Made by Phoebe Leger. And this is a jacket that Jack gave me in 1975. I was very skinny. Can I wear it? Try to wear it?
Do you want to say anything about Pasolini and all that, no. Just say something quick and very intelligent.
No. When I met Jack, in Rome, he was looking for Baghdadian settings, and I took pictures of him with a toy penguin in Rome. When I came here, he had me paint on the walls of his apartment on the First Avenue, and then we stayed friends until his last days. And the first thing he told me when I arrived in his apartment on First Avenue, he pointed at the Twin Towers, which you could see very well. And he said, "Rectangles, they kill you with those rectangles." And anyway, it was kind of prophetic.
Where can they see your film? What's the name of your film?
Oh, my film is called Pompeii, New York, Part 1, Pier Caresses.
And who are some of the famous people in it?
Famous people in it? Oh, well, David Wojnarowicz, and there will be Penny Arcade, Phoebe Legere, and William Niederkorn, Taylor Mead, and many others.
Well, let's hear it for Ivan Alex Rojas helped me. We together with Keith, we packed the boxes last night. So we know what's in them. They're little museums, they're little archives of the way we live, and it's just fascinating. We had such a good time last night. I think you're going to really love your boxes. And a box goes, the Acker Award for Art goes to Alex Rojas, Colombian-born, cultural activist, multimedia artist director of Bullet Space in New York, and she has put a beautiful monoprint. It's absolutely gorgeous. Please come forward, Alex. Very nice. Bridget Engler. In 2014, Engler presented a fabric art installation submerged in the basement of a medieval dungeon in Brittany. This year, with Robin Winters, she co-curated works by 16 artists in the Spring Break Art Show. An art Acker goes to Bridget Engler. Are you here? Okay, Carol Red Ed Braddock is a living artist. Is he here? Carol Braddock?
Somebody here is going to pick up Carol Ann? Yeah, here we go. Ed has to say a few words for those of you I don't know. I'm Dave Stern. I met Ed at the Limelight in the 90s. About dressed head to toe in red leather, someone my size. He has to say thank you. He has to say thank you, and this send him a thought. He's actually getting an MRI tonight at Cedars-Sinai for his spine. So this is not here, but that he's okay. He asked you to please look at his website, which is colorsigns.net. He's really brilliant as an artist and using blockchain and that sort of thing. And he said thank you all for your patience and understanding that he's sorry he couldn't make it. Thank you very much.
Next we have Linus Brandt, who was one of the founders of the Rivington School and who created the environments that were such a big part of our lives down here on the Lower East Side. The sculptural welded steel assemblages that went up in the empty lots everywhere. The most notorious was the fabulous gas station at 2nd Street and Avenue B. Very well deserved, Linus. Thank you for all the beauty. some of which can still be seen into your poster. You really named the Rivington School? That's what it says. You named it? You named the group? And I named Howl Happening, so, nobody ever gives any credit. Okay, that's all right. Now, Mimi Gross.
I wrote a whole thing, but I'm just going to accept this award in the name of positive cultural transformation.
I know we've got somebody who's very popular, and for good reason. Mimi Gross. My father knew your father. Your father was Chaim Gross, right? One of the great, my father was Jean-Philippe Léger, a blacklisted artist of the Boston Expressionist School, and they met at the Educational Alliance. And your father, do you all know Chaim Gross? And Mimi continues the tradition of social justice and realism in her paintings.
Well, just come and visit our foundation. It's Chaim's studio and 4 floors of art. It's open to the public. There's really a lot to see there. And this whole history of New York City and mid-century, last one. As for me, I'm having a show now at Eric Firestone Gallery at 4 Great Jones Street until April 20th. So come and see it.
It's an honor to meet you. Beautiful. You all know Chaim Gross? Check it out. Okay, it's rolling along. Andrew Castrucci is lucky enough to be married to the very beautiful Alex, but he's not here. He's on his way to Oneonta, New York. But the beautiful Renzo, who has a wonderful hair, grooming, gorgeous grooming, is going to accept the award for his father, who ran the A&P Gallery with his brother Paul Castrucci on East 4th and co-founded Bullet Space with the wonderful, talented, nice, and beautiful Alex, his wife. A lot of love there. Marty Martin founded Why Not Care, a non-profit organization geared toward the providing of beneficial resources to the homeless and disenfranchised communities. Here's your award for community activism, Marty Martin. Wonderful.
Yeah, this is Marty. Marty's also an artist. He's done a lot of murals in the neighborhood. You want to talk a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I founded Why Not Care, and right now we are in our 3rd year of operation. We do the largest free resource festival in Lower East Side history with people like community leaders like Power, Lila, Judy, Naomi. We've been able to bring over 4,000 book bags to the community in under a year. From August to August, 2017 to 2018, we brought 4,000 book bags to the community, along with, thank you. Every year we bring 60 different organizations. In order to get a book bag or a haircut, you need to visit and get empowered by these organizations. And we also do coat drives and sneaker drives and everything for the community. Right now we're doing a free business motivational course at Henry Street Settlement and Donated Space. So if you guys are free, 301 Henry Street, Saturdays, we're there from 12:30 to 12:30 to 2, sorry.
Also, Paula and Leila and Marty have been very instrumental in helping Puerto Rico after the hurricane. So they've been very busy with that. And also did a story in The Villager on Marty and the giving away the book bags and things. So there's a lot of crossover with The Villager as well. So thank you very much, Marty.
Thank you, Marty. The world of people who serve on nonprofits is like an extraordinary parallel universe, and it's so wonderful to have a chance to say thank you to them, people like Marty. The next award is in the realm of theater, and it's a very good friend of mine, someone I admire very much, Bina Sharif. She is so brilliant that I love to listen to her. Go for it.
Thank you very much. Clayton and Phoebe, I'm very honored and very happy, very excited to get this award, and doubly excited because I'm getting it at Theatre for the New City. Because I have done tons of plays here in every space, all 4 theaters, you know, and all thanks to Crystal, very much. And I have to tell you a little bit. When I was like 7 or 8 years old, very young, my mother had a girlfriend. She was Persian. Her name was Parvin, which is my middle name also. Parvin, it's a Persian name. And they will always meet. They were great friends, and they will have tea together and all. And I always wanted to be with people who are older. I didn't really play with my age people at that time, right? And I would just sit there and listen. I always listened to them, you know, they were just great, they talk about great things. And that lady Parvin, the Persian lady, said to my mother, "Your daughter has a brain." And my mother said, "Doesn't everyone?" So she said, "Yeah, everyone has a brain, but her brain is disturbed brain." So my mother said, "Oh no, she's just smart." So I did not understand the meaning of those 2 things, smart and disturbed brain. But when I grew up, and wherever I go, travel, or people don't know me, they say, "Who are you? Tell us a little bit about you." And I said, "I'm smart, and I have a disturbed brain." So because of my disturbed brain, I have created a lot of work. Thank you so much.
Do not miss Bina's plays. I love them. I love her work.
I also wanted to just quickly point out as well that the poster was done by Stephen Allison Fly. So this was done by Stephen Allison Fly, a beautiful poster. And yeah, very nice.
Our next Acker Award for theater is to Susanna Cook, a playwright and performer from Buenos Aires, Argentina, based in New York. She writes queer, political, funny plays, hi honey, that deal with issues of gender, race, and class.
And Susanna with an A on the end. One person missed the A.
Okay, really quickly because there's 40 people. But yeah, I came to New York in 1992 from Buenos Aires, and New York is home. And I was thinking today that it's home because of this, because of the community of artists. I left, also when I was 19, I left Argentina during the dictatorship, and I lived in Paris for a while. I live in different cities, and when you're with the artist community, you're home, you feel connected right away. So this award is amazing, I think, because it's a way to help us to connect more and to know that whatever is happening, and it is happening, we are not alone, and we have tools to talk about that. So thank you.
Susanna with an A.
Oh, I'm really excited about the next one because it's puppets. Vit Hojish from the Czechoslovak American Marionette Theater. He was honored by the Czechoslovak Society for the Arts and Sciences in recognition of his lifetime achievement in fostering Czech and Slovak puppetry. I hope you have a puppet. Do you have one?
Those who know me know that I'm very shy, so I brought a friend to accept the award. I don't know if he remembers his speech. I will try translate. He wanted to invite you to our show that's running for 2 more weeks at the cabaret space downstairs. And it's Johannes Doch Tor Faust, or the very original Czech and German puppet play in English presented here. Thank you very much.
Our next award is for Melba LaRose, a playwright, director, actor, artistic director. LaRose was the original Nola Noonan in Jackie Curtis's Glamour, Glory, and Gold. The life and legend of Nola Noonan, goddess and star. And may I say that she's also a Mayflower descendant, as am I. She is descended from Brewster, and I am descended from Isaac Allerton, who put up the money for the Mayflower.
Hey, aren't we something? Thank you so much, Phoebe. And I'd like to thank Marilyn Roberts, the wonderful Marilyn Roberts, who nominated me for this. Yes, great actress. And the wonderful Clayton, who approved me. Well, I'm older than dirt, but it seems like yesterday, but it was probably 50 years ago, I wandered down the stairs of Tony Bastiano's cellar studio and auditioned for Ron Link and Jackie Curtis and got the lead in Glamour, Glory, and Gold. And Jackie and Candy Darling were my sidekicks on stage, my supporting players, and became my best friends off stage. And I should mention a couple other people, Tony and Gracia, who was very influential and a gatekeeper in my life, and Gregory Rizakis, both Looney Tunes people, but extremely talented, extremely bright, and great stars that burned out too soon. So I'd like to thank you. This award means more than any other award to me because my life has been avant-garde theater. And yes, that's my life. The village is my home, and you are my people.
And we forgot to say that Melba is going to portray Jane Jacobs in the...
Yesterday I was on the stage at the Cherry Lane Theater with Peculiar Works Project, and I played Jane Jacobs. Yeah, it was a great honor.
Our next award goes to a wonderful friend. I'm such a fan of John Kelly. This is the Performance Award. Is John here? All right, then I won't read all of his awards, but believe me, he's won them all. He's done it all, and he is a gorgeous person. I first saw him on the stage at Stilvend playing Saint Sebastian, the great gay icon, pierced by arrows. And I have never forgotten it. So will someone accept John's award, or we'll get into it? All right. The next award is for some people you know and love very much. Dance Noise, Lucy Sexton and Ann Lobbs. They're here. Do a little dance, won't you?
Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you, Clayton, for reminding us what we all, I hope, know, that what we do, what you do, matters. Just keep going.
Thank you so much for your work. Now we're in the Film Awards. You ready for that? I want to stand near you here. I need a little Clayton energy every once in a while. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just get close to Clayton, you could go on for another 10 years. Larry Fessenden operates the production company known as Glass Eye Picks. Their mission is to support individual voices in the arts. Is he here?
I just want to say I really appreciate being included in this group, and
We were here in the 80s. I see the same faces. I don't think we've aged badly. I think we're doing great.
Our next Acker Award goes to Beck Underwood. Beck published one of my favorite newspapers. It was called Zuzu, and I used to get it at the library. I haven't seen it lately. I want to see some back issues. She also teaches animation at the Lower East Side Girls Club. Are you getting her award?
She's my wife.
Wow, she's really cool.
Beck's in Mexico, where she has great kinship, and she thanks you all for this honor.
Great. We love her for her service. Next we have one of my favorite people, Tessa Hughes Freeland. Is Tessa here, I hope? Tessa co-founded the annual New York Film Festival downtown. In 2018, she curated 2 programs for the No Wave Transgressive Film Series in conjunction with the Club 57 exhibition at MoMA.
Thank you. I don't have much to say. The film is still alive and strong, even though you feel you have a shitty dead-end life.
That is a very bright, very good woman. Jacob Burkhart is our next Acker Award winner.
Thank you very much. Wonderful to be here with all these other people, and I'm so thrilled to be included with all these wonderful and great artists. Thank you.
I like that stuff. Okay. Next we have, in the film category, Tom Jarmusch, who is an artist and a filmmaker. Is he here?
Tom's not here tonight, so what we'll do is we'll just hold on to the award until he can pick it up later. Jim had to leave. They were doing a recording. So, but he'll get it. All right, thank you from Tom Jarmusch.
I forgot to say that we had a third helper last night. With Alex and Keith, we had Erez Ziv. For theater, getting an Acker tonight, he has dedicated the last 20 years of his life to creating a theatrical home for young theater makers in New York City's Lower East Side. And was very helpful last night. It's a lot of work putting 40 boxes together and getting 40 pieces of stuff in each one. And we had so much fun.
I want to thank you guys all for coming. Without an audience in there, all our spaces would just be rehearsal spaces and not performance spaces. So thank you for coming out.
That's good showbiz. I like it. Next is an award for someone I know and love. I know him forever. Such a sweetheart, Trigger. And he's getting an award for the venue that he ran so beautifully for so long, made us all feel so much at home. But Trigger, can you tell us about that Joey Ramone's last show and how you played in the last 2 encores? So you would have been the last person to play.
This was Joey's last show, and he passed a few months after that. And what an honor. Yeah, I played guitar on the last couple of songs that he did in the encore. Can you hear me? Yeah. Well, yeah, and he's in our swag box. Put that in Live at Continental. So,
I just want to add one little thing here about Trigger, though, because Trigger, you know, he wears his hat and he gets a little big in the head once in a while. So for a while, he thought he was Donald Trump. So he's calling me and telling me, because I'm trying to get this booklet done. So he's telling me a few days ago, because I'm asking him, how long did it take you to put together your last show? Which you got it finished at the last minute. So he's bugging me 2 days before. You don't have it done, you're fired. So, so
I gave his job back.
Yeah, so I got my job back. Thank you.
Next year, I'm not so sure. Anyway, it seems like the New York City, the East Village, the Lower East Side are vanishing right before our very eyes, no? And it's nights like this that where we honor the past, the present, hopefully the future, are so important for our community. And especially want to thank Clayton because he's been documenting all of this for decades now. So let's hear it for Clayton.
The Excellence in Historic Preservation Award by the Preservation League of New York State and the Lucy Moses Organizational Excellence Award by the New York Landmarks Conservancy, and has been named Best of New York City by the Village Voice. May I kiss your feet?
Thank you very much. This is a huge honor, given everyone who's assembled here, Theater for the New City and the incredible role it's played in the East Village and in our city, and of course Clayton and everything that he does. This is a real honor. Just a quick plug, we just recently completed a 10-year project of documenting the history of every single building in the East Village. Put it up on our website, and it's got great stuff, you know, going back 150, 200 years, but we want your stories. So go take a look, and if it's a building you lived in, had friends in, spent time in, put your stories up on there. We want to make sure that they're preserved forever and people can appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I got one quick question, because we had this, as gentrification came and drifted across the Lower East Side, the East Village went in several different ways. For a while it stopped on Avenue A, then it went to Avenue B, eventually it got down to Avenue C. So where is the East Village now?
I think the East Village is wherever you want it to be. It's kind of a state of mind, and we're all in it. Oh, we're all the way from the Bowery to D, and everything in between.
Actually, they had a new luxury building right down there on Avenue D on the corner, and I went in there and thought, wow, they got a doormat. So I said to the doorman, I said, wow, luxury on Avenue D. He said, no, it's just expensive.
Now we come to the music section of the Ackers. First, we have an Acker for Chris Iconicide. Artist, writer, poet, lyricist, photographer, and publisher. His works include I, Anti-Messiah, and a photography compendium called Vanishing Points, and the novelized post-apocalyptic comic book, Sick World. Let's hear it for Chris. Oh, that's nice.
Short chord. Right, the last time I had to limit my speaking time was a memorial art show and reading for Lower East Side writer, publisher, poet, and musician J.D. Rage. So I've taken the precaution of limiting myself to a 1 page of 16-point type. You're welcome. I grew up a poor, abused kid, a third-generation resident of Bushwick. And I was never all that well behaved, always straining for something that made sense. It got me kicked out of public school midway through 2nd grade. It got me writing songs when I was 7 years old, in a style I came to call scorched earth blues. And it got me into hardcore back in 1982. And even then, I wouldn't stay still. Prog rock, science fiction, Japanese Buto, independent film. The more I experienced, the more I learned that to create art that unflinchingly told the truth was not to defy death, but to transcend it. A sobering thought for a 7-year-old to have. When I stepped onto the scene on Manhattan's Lower East Side in 1986, I was creatively voracious. If I saw someone doing something I respected, I threw myself into it and tried my hand, jumping from one corner of the underground to the other, from the anarchist switchboard, to Bullet, to Tompkins Square Park, to CBGB's, to Cafe Nico, to Gargoyle Mechanique, to Baby Jupiter, to Squad Au Rat. I saw people speaking the truth and damning the consequences. Finally, something that made sense. I had found my way home. The Lower East Side and our city at large has changed in many ways beyond recognition. Where as a teenager, I used to walk down the street, eyes closed, past a block worth of abandoned buildings, feeling completely at ease. Now steel and glass monstrosities have reared their ugly heads, and a hunger to breathe free has become a race towards commodification. But here I am, still trying my damnedest to make sense of it all. Clayton, thank you.
Larry! Hey, Larry! You gotta stop biting the bottle!
Our next, oh, this sounds so much better. They gave me the shitty sound. Thank you. Our next Acker winner is an extraordinary person. I will never forget the first time that I saw a degeneration poster pasted on a garbage can. It was in the 90s, and I was riveted, and I knew that I was in the presence of true rock and roll style. Our Acker Award goes to Jesse Malin, who toured with Kiss. Is he here? Who toured with Kiss, Green Day, and the Ramones, and in 2017 created the Love It to Life charity, Love It to Life, producing concerts in an effort to raise money to fight dementia and promote music education. Malin has recently surprised us again with his exquisite taste. He has completed a new record produced by Grammy-winning singer-songwriter Lucinda Williams.
Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you, Clayton. I'm not going to make it too long. It's great to know this exists. I came from Queens, New York when I was in my early teens, I don't know, getting out of grade school, and it felt like it was a million miles away from here. And I heard about music from a band from Queens called the Ramones. They had a movie playing on West 8th Street. I took the train in when I was 12, and I walked the wrong way. I didn't go west. I walked east. I ended up on a street called St. Mark's Place, and I felt like I'd found my people and my tribe. And I walked further east till I got so scared I ran back to West 8th Street and saw the movie. It's been my home for about 40 years down here, and seeing all you guys tonight and listening to everybody, and I've walked by this building a million times and never got invited or came in or anything, so it's great to be in here and see that this is all still existing and that we're still alive and fighting to express. The whole world has fucking changed, so it's not the Lower East Side, it's the planet. We gotta fight to keep it real and keep creating, and thank you guys.
I looked at every one of them. I liked the shoes, but I did not take them, Jesse. Our next Acker Award is for Jeff Wilson. Singer-songwriter, guitarist, multi-instrumentalist of the Bowery Boys rock band. He opened for the Ramones, played guitar for Jim Carroll, and is an active member of the local 6th and B Community Garden.
Yeah, I'm just a local musician. I kind of confused why I'm here. They said I did something, so thanks for noticing. I prefer to be a wallflower. This guy right here, did you ever win an award? my box. Museum in a box. Man, this is amazing. This is something right here. And you know, I thank people like Trigger and Jesse Mellon. They create places for us musicians to play. And this whole community, man. This is like a microcosm of New York City. I wish everybody else could come in, be part of my little box here, but that won't work. Thank you.
Yeah, as you notice, we've had a little problem here with the microphone, so we have to sometimes get Lori set up here. So Lori, come on up, Alice. Alice is going to introduce Lori. Lori's part of the backbone of all of downtown theater and production and whatever. And of course we have Alice. Okay, Alice, stand up.
All right, this is a commercial break for another Lifetime Achievement Award. Okay, well, let's see. Everybody knows what LES stands for. Lower East Side. The magic behind all of you guys and everyone that's ever been on stage downtown, uptown, Broadway, film, theater. That would be Lower East Side. Is the, I can't even read this. That's what we're talking about here. Everywhere. Worked with Dance Noise, Charlie Atlas, Diamanda Glass, Anoni, John Kelly, Penny Arcade, Meredith Monk, etc. Go to her Google. Go to her Wikipedia. Cyndi Lauper, Lesbian Love Lounge, Click Club, you name it. Every single place you guys have ever been, Lori made it happen. Come on, Lori, get your... also a photographer, also a dog rescuer, political activist, and by the way, she produces a yearly benefit at the Beacon Theater for Cyndi Lauper's homeless LGBT youth, and LES Girls Club, House with a Heart, First Street Community Garden. Basically every good thing that happens is produced by Lower East Side.
Thanks, everybody. The truth of it is I'm just a big fan. And if you do what I do, you get to see it when it's being made, when it's being rehearsed, and then in front of an audience. So I get the best seats. So thank you. I love what I do. And I really feel like I have to thank everyone I've ever met in my life, because I'm only as good as the people I keep company with. And looking around tonight, I got a great life. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Next Acker winner is Power Malu, who is the community director at Overthrow, New York, the home of underground boxing.
Thank y'all for being here, and please give it up one more time for Clayton Patterson. This brother right here is relentless. He's captured our energy in the Lower East Side. Me coming from way down on Columbia Street, and probably one of the only people that the gangs and drug dealers and all the people that encompassed the Lower East Side at that time allowed to take pictures of. And the way I met Clayton was one of the gangs back then alerted him that I was on Ludlow Street, and he came running and took my pic, and I met him, and ever since then we became friends. He's a mentor. I want to shout out Alice Thorbush, Overthrow. She's from the Yippie Museum, number 9 Bleecker, you know what I'm saying? Joey Goodwin. We're at Overthrow, New York, and we use our platform to empower and inspire community. My brother Alex over there. So, quick story, when Anthony Bourdain came to the Lower East Side, rest in peace, to make his parts unknown, he reached out to Clayton, and this brother right here connected the dots and made sure that LES was represented in the proper way. So shout out to Clayton. And as Marty Medina and Lila Mejia are here, Why Not Care, that's my family, and they spoke a little bit about Puerto Rico, and this platform right here is important for me to let y'all know what's been happening and what's continuing to go on the island. They sucked the land dry like sugar cane way before the hurricane. Irma came, Maria came, then we were shamed when FEMA came. No help, they all false advertise, put all this red tape and patronize. While the government waits and stands aside, the authorities say that their hands are tied and they can't do more although they want to. There's a chain of command that makes it hard to. They play underhand, debate and argue. Only way is to stand, make them see our view. The media's bought to sell their pack of lies. They spin the report and the facts denied. We send out support and they hold supplies. Food stuck at the port while families die. Government officials letting everything slide. I'ma break it down for you if you're wondering why. I'ma tell you the real and what's happening inside. The snakes are making deals, their pockets are lined. So place your bid, the game is rigged. Look how they did the electric grid. Something's gotta give. We gotta get rid of these executives. It's a bottomless pit. Land grab. They scan in the land to build up resorts for their friends and fam. They going all across. Expand is the plan. They got no remorse. They scam where they can. And nope, it ain't a threat. It's a promise instead. The no promesa set was to keep us in debt. They're taking the acres with hedge funds and banks. They're claiming to save us and telling us thanks. Keep the conversation going. The death toll is hidden. Congress needs to know that the debt must be forgiven. Obviously, we know we're neglected by the system. Now we need to grow independent and resist them. PR doesn't have a democracy. They want to keep us down with no pot to pee. We the people must demand food sovereignty and all our energy to be fossil free. The power back to the people, we could govern ourselves. Them cowards don't treat us equal, we should put them in jail. Don't want to see a sequel to this colony hell. The poverty is lethal, the economy fell. These regulations ruin the nation. The Jones Act passed its expiration. Invasion, illegal occupation. We're facing forced evacuation. No breakfast, lunch, dinner. They need clean water fast. Toxic super funds and they're strapped for cash. Topic number one in the aftermath. We gotta free Puerto Rico. We don't have to ask. Viva Puerto Rico libre.
We needed that. Thank you. Thank you. Our next Acker winner is John Velarde, a lifelong denizen of the Lower East Side. Velarde was in the punk band Public Nuisance and also organized the Beer Olympics, the largest underground punk music festival on the East Coast. Is John here? Bonnie Sue Stein. Producer, writer, executive director of Seven Lobes, a coalition of 7 artist groups. Bonnie Sue Stein acts with great power and truth behind the scenes. She developed El Bohio.
I love this. I mean, Clayton, you are the gorilla glue. Acker, acre, stacker, hacker, racker, fracker, anti-fracker, packer, backer, jacker, jack her, clacker, lacker, lack her, macker, knacker, packer, quacker, racker, stacker, tacker, tack her, whacker, whack her, yacker, yacker, yakety yak, yakety yacker. Thank you very much.
Our next actor goes to David Herskovitz, co-founder of Paper Magazine. Ran for mayor against Rudolph Giuliani on the Quality of Nightlife platform. He hosts a podcast for Howl Arts. David Herskovitz.
Say something. Just very honored to be part of this group, having lived in this neighborhood for many, many years and seen and written about many of the people here and been a big fan of everything that was going on downtown. So proud to be honored by Clayton and the Ackers and Kathy Acker, who I also knew, and we should say a word about her, was a wonderful, brilliant, creative person who also left us too soon.
Well, thank you, David. We had one box that had Giuliani socks on it, but
The next actor is for Michael Carter. A poet, writer, performer, cultural critic, squatter, activist, and homesteader on East 11th, where he still resides.
This is just like don't say no. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I'm saying that's the kind of thing that would happen at No Say No. I didn't think it would happen at the Theater for the New City. But yeah, thank you very much. Of course, I want to thank Clayton and Phoebe. And I'm just going to read a very short poem from a book that wasn't published too long ago. It's a very short poem in a very long book that was the last Unbearable anthology. It's called From Somewhere to Nowhere, The End of the American Dream. Now this may seem dated, but it actually is not. This poem is entitled Occupy Wall Street. Theirs is a blast of radionuclide against that subtle cancer that mutates silently through banks and brokers and bonds, barely visible, subatomically strong. This rendering of the fat from the fat to form the 1%, the power elite, rapscallions who profit off other folks' toil and debt. So very far removed, even as they limo past, the mourning horde who struggle to survive this pricey city, to thrive despite the daily beatdowns of capital and its contents, applaud
These brave who say as enough's enough. Every day, every week, occupy fucking Wall Street.
And now, the Acker Awards for Writing. Brian Belovich created Queer Stages, an LGBTQ play reading group whose mission is to preserve and present LGBTQ theater. A documentary about Brian titled I'm Going to Make You Love Me is going to be released in 2019.
Thank you, Phoebe. What an honor. I'm so thrilled to be here. I just feel like I'm in the right place, and it's so humbling to be back in the East Village. I had to leave the East Village in the 90s, but luckily I landed in a good, rent-stabilized apartment outside of Manhattan, so that's a really good thing. But so many amazing memories, and such an honor and a thrill to be included in a place where I have spent so many amazing times and people that I knew and loved and missed, and I'm just really thrilled. And thank you all so much.
I love the brooch. Whenever I hear the two words tender buttons, I just get a warm feeling inside. And Leanne Brown is the author of over 5 books of poetry. She was recently the Judith E. Wilson Poetry Fellow at the University of Cambridge. She teaches poetry at St. John's University here in New York City, and she founded Tender Buttons Press, dedicated to publishing experimental poetry by women. Is she here?
Hi, I'm Tony Tour. I'm here to accept the award for my beloved wife, Leanne Brown. She sends poetry and love from the West Coast, where she's on her way to the AWP with great trepidation. Now, she was just a girl from Charlotte, North Carolina, but she landed at the famous Poetry Apartment complex at 437 12th Street, and it all took it from there. Long live the Lower East Side.
That, of course, is our dear friend, Tony Torn, one of the great, great American actors. Next, the award is, the next Acker is for someone I've known a very long time. He's an art historian and learned art history at Vassar College. Very good friend of mine. Carlo McCormick.
Thanks, Phoebe. It's been a minute. Good to see you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Clayton. Thanks, everyone who helps Clayton, which is a lot of people. Because we had to, everyone who wins gets to contribute to the box. I did the thing I'm only half good at. I wrote a little essay, and kind of inspired by this being something that awards resistance, I thought about this kind of beautiful history of people who resist awards, and it's an amazing list. From John Lennon to Jean-Paul Sartre to George C. Scott, and that would be the MBE, the Nobel Peace Prize, Prize for Literature, and the Academy Award, right? So a lot of people turned down a lot of things, and just in the summation of it, Sinclair Lewis turned down the Pulitzer Prize in 1926 by saying that all prizes, like all titles, are dangerous. Thank you.
fellow became very famous at Vassar because his final senior paper on modern art got a D. And I believe he then sold the paper to Art Forum. Is that an apocryphal story? Whatever it is, we soon knew that the world was a very different place from the world of Vassar College, where Anthony Bourdain was also a student with us. Our next Acker Award goes to Ephraim John Gonzalez, who is a photographer whose talents bend to the unusual, the erotic, the unique, the wild, the crazy, the world of the body. Body modifications, the universe of radical S&M, from the sensual beauty of the flesh to new sensual desires. And we saw some of his photographs. Each box has a photograph, and they are really wild, really good, gorgeous.
I want to thank everyone who made this award possible. I'm very thankful for it. I'm just the guy that pushes a button. I'm there at a certain place, I see something and I push the button. And there were so many places that were so fantastic in the time. The Crowbar on 10th Street, Cake over on Avenue B, Kavi Kavam on 1st Avenue, Novelle Justine on 2nd Street, and the Pyramid, which is still there by a miracle. And there were so many fun things and events and places that happened here in the East Village, and God willing, I'll be able to save all my photographs. I have about 100,000 photographs and about 30 crates of prints, and a lot of them are in the East Village. So I hope to save them all and all the memories that we made possible. Thank you.
You know, you could really get a big inferiority complex reading some of the bios, and none made me feel smaller than the next Acker winner. Lila Lee Mejia wins for community support. She has dedicated her life to the nonprofit sector. She spent many years in Dakar, Senegal, helping to start the League for Enhancement of All African Futures. I'm going to start crying. Enhancing educational opportunities for low-income families and children of color. She is an organizer advocating on behalf of low-income families and a champion of education in our community. Is she here?
Thank you, Clayton, for this award. My name is Lila Mejia. I was born and raised in this neighborhood in the projects on 12th Street and Avenue D. I am a product of this neighborhood, and it's my duty to give back to my neighborhood as it's changing. I'm about education. I'm a mother of 6, single mother. My kids are all in public school in this neighborhood. So I know these who I fight about education. I'm also part of a team with Martin and Power with Why Not Care. They spoke about the back to school event. Besides that, we do Santaland. The first couple of years, we were doing it for the shelter families in this neighborhood, and now we're doing it for the evacuees who are displaced from Puerto Rico. With that, I just want to add, Clayton, we're giving you this shirt. It says, Estamos aquí. A little history with this shirt. This Thursday, Power and myself and a group of 15 other people, some people from my job are here as well, we're going to Puerto Rico to help a town in Añasco, Puerto Rico called Barrio Playa. We are helping this town rebuild the school that they got back from Governor Rosselló. And so part of our mission was to raise $20,000. I am $800 away from hitting my goal. So tonight, I am here with these shirts, and if you're interested, my team, we have them for $20. We would greatly appreciate it if you can donate your services. Donate your money so we can make this trip possible. This is our 4th trip to Puerto Rico, and we continue to go back. Once again, thank you. I inspire you all to do something for your community, for your people, for your neighbors, because it's about giving. We live in a climate right now where it's toxic and it's not healthy. If you want to learn how to volunteer, if you want to be more involved, hit me up. I'm going to be here at the end. And I thank each and every one of you. I don't know anyone who is on this panel, but I want to Google all you winners. So thank you so much. Here you go, Kate.
Thank you. Muchísimas gracias. Well, now we're at a tremendous award. It's the award for jewelry and skateboarding. And the award goes to Spencer Fujimoto, a lifetime skateboarder who
Alex
has
is
now
going to come
launched
and
that
pick it up. Alex, you're going to come pick it up for Spencer? You going to come and pick it up? What's that?
Should we do it at the same time?
Yeah, we'll do a double. We'll do a double right now.
Alex, this is you, right, Alex? Yeah. Alex Corporon had such a beautiful quote in his bio that I'm going to read it, then he can talk because I just love what he said. Skateboarding is still the center of my life, and I continue to support the scene and the youth coming up. My life is all about having a good time, enjoying being alive, and learning about others as we pass through the world together.
Clayton, thank you once again. JP, you got on my ass today about thanking people. I want to say, Clayton, thank you for being the most wonderful eye-opener in the world, with your photography and your filmography. There's 2 people that I don't know if a lot of people understand, that Harold Hunter and Jeremy Henderson were the main 2 people in the Lower East Side of skateboarding. And they were the key that opened us to the Lower East Side, and here it is, and man, I don't know, I'm all caught up now. I knew you were gonna do this to me, Jeffrey. I knew JP you were gonna do this to me. But very civilized, and Flute being my fiance, everyone, JR, everyone, where's Big Jim and whoever's here for me. Thank you. This is amazing, and skateboarding is a really big thing that wasn't cool back in the day, and I'm glad that the Lower East Side was one of the only places that really took care of it, because that was part of the punk rocker, the skate, rock and roll, gay community. I could go so far as everything, in every aspect what skateboarding was about, Lower East Side hugged us. And that's what I love about what the LES is about. We are we're on everything. We're a community that supports artists, people. Oh man, we're beasts. We are the beast. Power, that guy's a beast right there, man. I'm sorry, I'm a bit I got a little hiccup, but there you go. Thank you.
He's also going to grab Spencer's box as well. Spencer had to leave, but Spencer's soon going to Hawaii, so we're going to miss Spencer. But we're really happy that he's part of this community. And so Spencer does the jewelry and the skating and community, and so say hi to Spencer. So take a photo.
Our next Acker is for Ted Retterer, the director of Howl Happening. There's a wonderful show there now. We all know it's a non-profit gallery performance space here in the East Village.
Okay, I'm hoping that Steve Ellis will be able to pick up the box for Ted. You want to come down and get Ted's box, Steve, and bring it up?
What's his record company? Netherland Records. He travels around.
Yeah, he travels around, does the records with people. What are they called? Nevermore Records? Something like that, yeah.
What's their location, right?
Yeah, it's location oriented. Right, it makes vinyl, real vinyl. Did like Lydia Launch, a lot of people.
Hey everyone. Ted wanted to say it's important that the award really deserves to go to the whole Howl team, to the board of directors, Jane, Sam, Corinne, Yoon, Ramsey, Josh, Susan, and all the artists in the community that supports Howl. He says he's just a soldier of the East Village, and thank you very much.
Also, we want to thank Zito, who's in the house. Zito always does the memorial cups. And the memorial cups are great. You want to come up and say a little thing about the cups, Zito? All right, Zito. I had to mention Zito because of the cap.
Yeah, if there was ever a night to wear this hat, it's tonight. You know, we all know this is an amazing thing, it's an amazing neighborhood. I was kind of tasked with trying to find a way to portray New Yorkers, and when I saw the crushed coffee cups on the street, I said, there it is. That's perfect. It's our garbage and our sort of foliage. So, thanks to all you guys. It's a beautiful thing you do, Clayton, Phoebe. Thanks so much.
Now we have the very special Tattoo Awards. And maybe you want to give the Tattoo Awards.
Okay, Tommy Houlihan. Old friend, guy I've known for a long time. Really happy that Tom is here. Great tattoo artist. He's got the only tattoo shop in the Times Square area. So Tom, I've known for many years, back when he was a young buck. And so he has got a long history within tattooing in the neighborhood and Chelsea and whatever. Let's say hi to his mom. His mom is here. You say hi, Mom?
Well, first, Clayton, I brought you a present, a Sharpie marker that actually works.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I love you. You know,
let's get a tattoo instead I got a Sharpie. What are you going to do, right?
You know, they took tattooing away in Times Square in 1962, and I brought it back in 2017. And I tattooed Avenue A, Avenue B, St. Mark's, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, all over the place. But you know what? We have so many people here in service and artists. I mean, forget about me for a second. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. You people are fantastic. Forget about me. I'm just a humble artist. But I would like to thank my sainted mother who bought me my first tattoo machines in 1988. And for the first 5 years of my career, called me a scribble pad. But she gave that up a long time ago, so thank you, Mom. My sainted mother and my crew. And the beautiful Tanya who came with me tonight. And it was just, it's a real honor, and I know all the work that you put into this, so thank you very much.
Be sure to read his biography in which he says, I've been to military schools, college, and prisons, so I got an all-around education. None of that interfered with my tattooing. I come from a long line of hard people. I found that rather arousing. And now we have another tattoo award. Do you want to do it? You're such an aficionado.
Okay, where are we at here? Oh, Baba Austin. Baba's in LA. He started off in New York City. He started off in a place called Unique, which was a clothing store on Broadway, if you remember Unique. He used to do the jacket backs. And then tattooing actually saved a lot of people's lives. It certainly did wonders for Tommy and Bobby and Baba. And Baba got started with Jonathan Shaw, if you remember Jonathan Shaw's tattoo shop. Remember Jonathan? And that was Baba. And so Baba was also part of Graffiti World. And that's it. So Baba's in LA right now, and we'll send it to him. Thank you.
Oh, you know, I think it's the end.
Okay.
Do you want to make the closing remarks?
All right, very good. We want to thank a few more people here that are here. We have Alicia and Brian who's doing the videotaping, so thank you very much. We have Monty Paxton here who's expanded it to, you want to stand up for a minute and tell us a little bit about Toronto? Because we've expanded to Toronto, and Monty does the Toronto Ackers. We're looking at possibly Germany and Montreal, somebody in Montreal. So we want to try to spread this around. And we're really happy that we're keeping the community together. And it's like I say, this is more sort of mystical, and gentrification is one thing, and saving the community is something else. And if we don't save our own history, then who will? So it's kind of really up to us. And I think it's really important to get a community that's really wide-ranging. You know, we don't have to know everybody. And, you know, it was interesting. I did a thing with Brian from the Pyramid Club. And somebody really sort of, had it, okay. And somebody really sort of criticized it and said, well, you didn't really know him that well. And I said, well, that's really true. I didn't know him that well. I wasn't like hanging out all the time. But that doesn't really matter in a community like this, because it's the doors that he opened for me that gave me those possibilities to do what it was that I did at the Pyramid. That's what he gave to me. You know, I don't have to hang out with the guy. You know, it isn't about just, you know, spilling coffee. It's also just about the energy that gets happening, things that, and so many people here have mentored so many other people in the community and made it possible for so many. And the thing that it's kind of like the Van Gogh syndrome. The thing that I've discovered by documenting a neighborhood over a long period of time, a lot of times the real hitters are the ones that are in the background that you don't hear about till many years later. And one example of that is one of the rest in pieces person in this particular pamphlet, the booklet, was R.O. Tyler, Reverend Tyler. And Keith Patchell, who I was with, we went to this, Tyler was on 4th between C and D. He also did tattooing, he did mystical tattooing with using the zodiac and things like that. But he was a very sort of avant-garde person, and very instrumental in Klaus Oldenburg's life. Could have been the guy that turned him on to the soft sculptures, provided him in the studio when he was down in 4th and D. And also, but he was a bit of a wild guy. So, you know, he was part of the Judson movement and all of that, but he wasn't one of the people that you heard about. And Keith went in and discovered this piece of paper that was lying on a printed matter show, and it turned out that it was an orchestration for this composition, musical composition that Tyler had created. And Keith, who was part of avant-garde music and studied with many famous composers and went to Juilliard and all of that, so he understood this music, and he pulled it out. And he wrote this, because I'm working on this tattoo history book, which he wrote this long article about Tyler and how instrumental this piece is, and how he really was like Cage and other people. And also, Tyler was very instrumental with Bread and Puppet Theater. And when you go back and you talk to those people, you'll find those connections, but you don't hear these names. And the reality is, like I tell people, you want to get famous, find something, polish it, make it smaller, make it more understandable to more people, play it more times, go around the 500 times, then you can be RuPaul or somebody like that and get noticed. But the real geniuses, so many in the background, like the Peter Quailoffs, you know, they were too far ahead of the curve. Every week there'd be a different character. Well, you can't have the public catch on to you if every week you're somebody else. So, but they fed the people. Nelson Sullivan changed a lot of people's lives. A lot of people got here from Nelson. It's things like this. It's like with Trigger and providing this space, the Continental. You know, we wouldn't have had the Ramones and a lot of these bands without those kind of places. And like Lori, providing all the, even like you can see here tonight, keeping the show running and keeping it in place. So it's about the whole community. It's not just about the stars. The stars.
Leonard Abrams, of course, another Acker recipient. Anthony Hayden Guest, another Acker recipient. David Leslie, another Acker recipient. And you didn't take one. So when is it going to be your turn? I offered you one and you said, yeah, I don't know, come on. Come on, next year. But yeah, the Ackers are really spreading and they're deep and they cover a wide range of a real community. And when you go through those booklets, there's now 3 of them, 17, 18, and 19. And it's like a mini encyclopedia of this whole downtown area. And you can follow a lot of the people. And just like an Encyclopedia Britannica or whatever has that one paragraph, pieces in it, you'll find Alice over there. You'll discover who Alice was. And the Yippie and Overthrow and all of that. And so in Power, then you'll discover, Power's aunt used to live in ABC No Rio when it was a shooting gallery. But back in the day. But so, it's real neighborhood history. And Ruby and the Rednecks. Ruby's also an actor. And she was very instrumental to David Bowie. Everybody's heard of David Bowie, but they haven't really heard the real beginning of the glitter era and like that. And Ruby was very important in that. And like Ivan, bringing up Jack Smith and those people. Jack Smith was truly instrumental to so many people, but he wasn't, the name on the billboard. And so I think out of all of these Ackers, eventually in the future, that's where the gold is going to be. That's where the real mentors are going to be found. And once they get dug up, that's where we'll find the Van Goghs and all those people that really did inspire the whole community. And that's a big part of what the Ackers are about. It's about the whole community. I'm not trying to get a crew here. I'm trying to get a community. And we are a community. All right, thank you very much. All right. Next time. Thank you. And thank you, Crystal, for providing us this place. So thank you very much.
Perfect.